So I wanted to make a quick video on, I guess, more like a PSA of what not to do with the generator. This is my friend's generator that he brought over, and he couldn't figure out, why it wasn't working and why it wasn't starting, and the choke wasn't working. So what we did was started with the fuel. Now, good thing is the fuel was pretty good. I mean, there was gas in there, but it wasn't 100% spoiled, but it wasn't good. Right now, what I did was I tried to take the air box off, and it was basically not moving. This was the knob that you normally would hand tighten, and it's basically baked in. It's corroded right in there. Both the finger, I guess, screw was spinning, and it wasn't grabbing on here. And plus, even when I broke it off, the plastic knob part, the nut wasn't moving at all, and it was basically spinning the screw, because there's a screw in here that holds it in. So it was totally corroded. Then when I forced it off, and by working these top parts, right, I took it apart, and look what I found in here. That is part of, and there was more in here, a mouse nest, and there was a mouse nest in here too. Took the filter off, and that's the back part of the nest that was in here. It was basically, it was like this, right? And actually no, it was the other way around. It was like that. So that's part of the mouse nest that was in here. And look, it was all corroded in here, and I couldn't even get the studs out. I mean, if you look at this stud, look at the studs. This one's frozen in there, but I don't think it's because of the corrosion. But look at the nuts that I had to get off of here. I mean, it is corroded. I mean, there's another nut that there's supposed to be 10 millimeters. This one, to get on here, there's barely any threads on here. It was so corroded, and I had to put a PB blaster in here and get it to come loose. But I basically took a 9 millimeter socket and just banged it onto there, and so I turned a 10 millimeter nut, corroded, rounded off nut, and turned it into a 9 millimeter. In fact, it's still on there. I have to go put it on the vise and get it off. And I managed to back it off, and it basically backed off the stud. Actually, this is loose. This stud is loose. And I eventually got the nut off, but the threads are pretty corroded. In fact, I ordered some new studs to put on here. So basically, whatever this mouse was, or mice that were in here, just corroded the hell out of everything. In fact, here is the carburetor, and the throttle. No, the throttle is solid too. Wow, can't even move the plate. But the choke, look at the choke. In fact, see how it's bent there? That was me just taking a screwdriver and trying to move the choke plate. I mean, it is just totally corroded. I mean, it is solid. Look at it, it's just a big mass of just rust. It really did a job. I hate mice, man. They really did a job on this. So fortunately, this isn't expensive. We got a new one of these, except it doesn't have this valve on them, on the drain valve, which is fine. Not really required. Bought a new one of these, and bought a whole new box and filter. So we're gonna put that in there. And I know this works, because you need 4 things to run an engine, especially a smaller engine. And I have other generators over here that I repaired. You need fuel, you need spark, you need compression, and you need 4 things to run an engine. You need fuel, right? You need air, you need spark, and you need compression, right? So fuel, most of the time, is the problem, right? Is fuel. People leave gasoline in here, and I drained all the gas out of here, and thankfully this tank is nice and empty now. But most of the time they leave the gas in there, and gasoline just destroys everything, and it goes bad, and it just varnishes everything. It just get your old gas out of here if you're going to put a store. If you're going to store it more than a month, a few months, get the gas out. Even if it's treated. If it's treated, maybe 6 months, right? I got the motorcycle right there, and I got gas in there, but I usually drain it out before the winter time, or I just fill it up with fresh gas and treat the gas. But I know this works because there was a trick that I did to make sure that I'm getting compression and I'm getting spark. And you're getting, obviously you're getting air because I took the carburetor and the air box off. And this is an invaluable tool. Press down, well this is press down, but any starter fluid is just great. And be able to test it and take fuel out of the equation. So let me show you. Like I said, I have it no air box, no filter, no carburetor. Let's turn this thing on. Yeah, it's on run, right? And spray the dickens out of it, right? And then how's the pull start on there? It's probably on the back. Yep. Oh, there it is. There's the pull start. So we'll give it a couple pulls. Sorry. Okay. Now you see how I wanted to start? Because I sprayed the starting fluid, which is basically just ether, right, into there. And what it does is it replaces the fuel-air mixture and what the carburetor normally does. Because the carburetor normally takes gas, mixes it with air, right, and it comes out of here and goes right into the engine. This is the throttle plate, right? And the throttle plate is being controlled by the engine RPMs, right? It either throttles it up or throttles it down, depending on what it needs, right? So, what does this prove? It proves that I get spark, and it proves I got good compression. We're getting air because obviously that's wide open unless there's a valve problem, but there is not a valve problem. And fuel. I replaced the fuel with gasoline. So yeah, you started filling gasoline, and she fired right up. She turned over, ran for a second or two, which is fine, and then died. And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. Unless I stood here and just kept spraying it, I know she works. So if I replace this carburetor and make sure that this, I'm going to replace the fuel filter, which comes with the kit too, actually. Replace that, replace the carburetor, put this back on, put some fresh gas in here, turn on the petcock and let it drain out. And I bet you we'll start it right up and she'll run like a champ. So do me a favor, please, please, please. Two things. Get gas out of your system. Get it out of here, get it out of the gas tank, run it with the petcock off, and get the gas out of the carburetor. And if you can't do that, drain it. You know, there's either a screw on the bottom, or here it's on the side, because it sits like this, for example. Just drain it out. Let it drain out, and it usually comes out of here, this little, oops, sorry. It comes out of that hole right there and lets it drop on the ground. All right, get all the gas out of here. And if you get the gas out of here, or at least turn it off, it'll probably run forever. Second thing is, get the little rodents away from this thing, right? We'll keep it out of the weather, and then get the little rodents out. And what's the best way to do that? And what I'm discovering, I get a case of this stuff. Irish Spring. Smells pretty good, right? At least to me. My wife hates it. But I just take this, put it in here in my garage, keep the little guys away. And I'm just going to take a couple little, what's the word I'm looking for? Burlap. Put a couple of those Irish Spring soap bars in there and just hang it from the spots where they can get in, like the air box, right? And try to seal off any areas that the little mice can get into. And that's it. So that's the end of this video. The next video, the next cut that you're going to see is we're going to put, when we get them from Amazon, the carburetor. We're going to hook everything back up. New filter, new air box. I said already new carb, and new battery. And then put some gas in it, and she should run like a champ. Stand by. So what I didn't record for you was actually doing the carburetor, because I didn't realize that it wasn't recording. So that was my stupidity. But let me show you what I put in here, and I kind of cheated because I know that it works. I put new battery and new battery connectors over here. All right, so they're pretty good, and then just put new bolts up here because one of them was missing and one of them was really rusted. So this is very secure. All right, just check all the wiring. How wiring looks all good. Now this is the part that was bad. So new hose here to a. I'm gonna see if I can show you the new filter. That's a filter. Make sure you put it in the right direction. But basically, here it is. Here's the filter. You can see the gas that's in it. So that's going. And it was just running, so that's why you're seeing the vapors come out of here. But you can see that the carburetor is new. You can probably see it better from this side. Carburetor and the new box. I probably could have recycled the box but this nut right down here was all stripped out, so you might as well just get a new box. It was really cheap. All right, and choke works, which is good. That was kind of a pain because I put it in and I didn't put the handle on right away. And then of course make sure that your throttle linkage here is proper with the spring. All right, and then make sure you turn on the fuel petcock. Right, this did not need to be replaced. This was in pretty good condition already, and I assume that the filter, there's a filter in here, is in pretty good condition, but it was pretty good. The gas in here wasn't bad. The problem, which usually for generators, oh, and then I put a new bolt here. There was a missing bolt. I couldn't get a cap bolt like this. They didn't have it in Home Depot, so I just got a regular zinc bolt in here, which is fine. It works good. I mean, the original bolts over here are still here, so it works out. So its handle isn't as floppy as it was before. So hooked up the crankcase vent, and as well as the vent for the gas tank. All right, and everything worked out pretty good. I already kind of cranked it. She already started up pretty good with the choke on. She's warm, so I shouldn't have to put the choke on. So I'm going to put this in here. All this is the little guard to keep this area free, so it doesn't suck in the foam air filter. And the old air filter was just pretty hard, so let's put that in there. Push that in. And then put the top on. So screw it in. Okay. Hand tight is that this. All right. So let's change the oil. Probably the first time that this has seen fresh oil in it for a while. Now I'm probably gonna make a mess because I always do. So take the lipstick out, and it looks pretty gross. Put the tube in there. It's fairly warm, and then what I'll do is I will put this up. Try this with one hand. All right, so you can see this hose is now draining out. Making sure it's in the bottom of the crankcase. Try to get as much as I can. But this oil is pretty gross. Now here's the trick: is when you hear it starting to gurgle, move the tube around a little, because that tube might not be sitting flush. Right? It could be sticking up a little bit in the case, so I kind of move it around. Make sure you get everything. There's not that much in here. There's probably like a half a quart to a quart, not even. All right. Oh, see, making a mess. All right, and I'll clean this stick off The way you do it is, I gotta read the instructions, but there's two different ways to do it. You stick it in and you don't screw it in, and you read it that way, or you stick it in and then you screw it down, right, and then you unscrew it and you read it that way. I have to check the instructions. I have to make sure what the proper procedure is. But other than that, put fresh oil in it. She runs like a champ. And you took a generator, which didn't work at all, and it runs great. I tested it with a multimeter, and we're getting voltage on all the plugs, the four 110s, and the 240 30 amp plug, the twist lock plug. It works just fine. All right, so I tried to use the funnels I have. Actually, the easiest way to do it is there's enough access where I can actually pour it in. I'm just basically putting 1030 in here. Whoop, wait, a little mess, a little bit too fast. Okay, I have it almost up to the top. And apparently in this engine, you put the dipstick in, you thread it all the way in. And you pull it out. And it's just barely touching the bottom, so we'll add a little bit more. The point is, when you fill it up, you want to make sure that it's, I like to have it about halfway. You don't want to pass the hash mark. You certainly don't want it low, but if you have it too high and overfilled, you'll get some sloshing and aeration. You know, they're going to whip up air into the gas because the crank is going to start hitting the top of the gas, which is no good. That causes going to aerate like a whip, you know. It's going to, or a blender. It's going to aerate the oil at the same time, which is not good also. So once you get that filled, that's it. We're done. All right, I'll show you what this looks like real quick. I take this, thread this in, bottom out, thread it out. Now it's going to be hard to see because it's brand new, but it's right in the middle of the hash mark right there. I don't know if you could tell. Let me rotate that around. All right, so to me, that's pretty good. I could probably go a little bit higher, but you know what? I don't have any more individual oil cans left. I only have the 5-gallon one, so that's good enough for government work. All right, thank you. So, real important step there. Turned off the petcock, right? And just ran it until there was no gas in it. I'm probably still going to open up the bottom of the carburetor and then run out any gas that's in the carburetor. That's super important. That's what screws up a lot of people. Gas will destroy anything you leave it for more than a month. So you need to run either new gas through it or run it every month or two. Or drain it all out. Sorry, I turned off the petcock. This should have run it completely empty, but just in case, I'm going to open this up, which will drain out anything that's in here, and we're good to go. I ran it for like 20 minutes or so while it was running out of gas. There was a little bit of gas in here with no load. It takes a long time for it to run down. Checked it for leaks. There's no oil leaks, and more importantly, there's no gas leaks coming from all the new hoses that I put in here. I think we're good to go. Gas. Other than that, I think we're done with this. We can put this back in rotation for emergency home use. All right.